I used to see this as a weakness, but now I realize it's a strength. It's the strength, like the weakness is being just like new at like being a brand owner. Like vulnerability of just like, hey, like I might just be a hairdresser, but you know, I know what I know. But scaling, I think it's just transparency and vulnerability and just, you know, creating a community and guiding and inviting others into the journey so they share. I think naturally they feel like they're a part of the story also, and they feel excited to be a part of it. And you were mentioning that we have like a pre-launch.
Talk to us about like, okay, just to be more specific, you sold 500 units before you even had product shots, like no paid ads, no social push. Talk to me about that, because like, how did you achieve that?
So we've been developing this product for like a long time. And while we're developing this product, we try to like keep it very like secretive for a while, and then until we like have enough money to like finally launch, you know, the product and create a packaging.
Even if they have too much of that product, if they love it, they're gonna then hand it over to someone that is like, oh, you have to know about this brand or you have to know about this product. And it's actually a strategy to almost oversample, so that it is like a bootstrapping strategy of like oversampling where your only cost is products, like versus advertising, which costs way more. Because then especially someone, an expert, like a salon, you know, a hairstylist, if they know their stuff and they love the product and they're using it on their clients too, but they just literally have too much of it, they're going to give it to other experts that may not be familiar with it. And that word of mouth is going to have way more credence.
After every salon he visited, he would personally DM them and like tell the salon owner, hey, we've stopped by today with the flyers. I left it with your front desk. He would get the name of the receptionist and like, these are the things we dropped off. If you're interested, let us know. So there's always a follow through as well, and very personal.
Okay, got it. So you're not necessarily leaving samples or anything?
No, because they get so many samples, and I think it just gets, I know I used to get lots of samples and they're just hidden in a cupboard because I'm just like, it's just another sample. I don't need more. You see what I'm saying? And because we're so cheap, like we don't want to just waste a bunch of samples. It costs a lot for us, you know? It's expensive.
It's one thing to get in and it's a whole nother to stay in. So it's like, how do we stay in? And staying in is once you get to a certain level, you're training and sampling like twice a week or twice a month at some point, some point, you know, going a little backwards from that, it could be once a month or once a quarter. So something we're implementing right now with one of my brands who's like really big on wholesale. We're implementing a once a quarter sampling and like custom sampling for each of the people, like staff members, and like doing little gifting as well. So other types of gifting that's really custom to, which actually I think would be perfect for you because you totally get like every salon.
So we just created the demand, you know, by just, I think our excitement and the anticipation just kind of did its thing. And word of mouth just finished the rest.
Absolutely. I think, you know what this is a good test or a good example of? Just teasing and building anticipation for a prolonged period of time.
For sure.
So much so that like, but you're not giving the solution immediately. So you're really kind of like teasing it and building anticipation until it's like, all right, we want to see it. What is it? And then you bring that solution.
Yeah. Definitely.
So super exciting. Okay, so tell me, you've built traction also through DMs. You've built traction through personal connection. How do you manage that at scale? Maybe you haven't kind of looked at that quite yet, but perhaps you have. How do you manage that at scale, and how do you keep your community engaged between promotions, you know, throughout the year?
Well, I think I credit this a lot to my husband. Like, he is like constantly working. We're a tech team. He's always been very engaging with and with follow up. He's always connecting with people. But it's something that we have like developed over time. You know, we just always have DM to the stylist. We've always have conversations with them and reached out to them, and we just constantly engage with the community. It's just kind of like really second nature. Like, we don't work in an office or with like a team, but we're constantly working with the hairdressers. So as like there are more numbers, we just like I don't know, it became easier. You just kind of just keep going. It wasn't overnight.
The retention is the big piece. Like, let's retain, because it takes so much work and effort,
And I feel
already
like we're
it takes
hitting,
a lot of
you
money.
know, after I've launched, you know, into some of the salons, I think that retention is becoming like a problem. Not a problem, but, you know, a challenge. So that would be, you know, good to visit.
Leah, let's definitely circle back to that. Okay, so tell me more about, you know, you have this exploratory, I would say, mindset, or like this is very nimble approach to taking things on. What's brought you here? Is that something that you bring from your upbringing? Is that something like that comes from your childhood? Like, what makes you so like flexible to be like, let me just try this. Let me just go for it.
I don't know. I just always feel like I show up like I'm like, I don't know anything. And I'm just like really curious. Like I want to know how things work.